It was a Swedish news magazine sponsored it, and Thomas arranged it, our manager, Thomas Ertman. From the beginning, it was 2,000 bands, and 200 bands were picked out to do the contest. And then we did the final on TV, broadcasted live. We won the contest with 1 point. So we did a first album, but we didn't know what was going to happen. You know, you can't force people to buy it. But it sold pretty good, so we were able to do a tour in the folk parks. So from that on, it's been growing. Yeah, that was the record company we had that at that point. It was Thomas' own record company called Hot Records.
An independent label. And the first 2 albums was released on that label. After the second album, he started to negotiating with international record companies. And finally, CBS Epic got the deal. Final Countdown is actually the first album that is released on an international record label. I never liked them.
I didn't like them from in the beginning. I mean, when they first had the bigger hits, you know, in 77, 79. I didn't like that kind of music because I was very much into the more heavy rock by then. But now I really like some of the stuff. They're really good songwriters and arrangers. And
my mom and dad liked them, so I couldn't.
Yeah, I never really liked them at the time. As Ian said, now when I look back and I can listen to the records because, well, I guess partly because my music taste has been broader over the years, and also because you've realized what there was lots of quality in the music, and that Benny Andersson is a tremendous songwriter. I was living next door to Benny for a while in Stockholm, so I met him a couple of times, and we've also made some TV shows together. So we met him. The others, we met Björn
briefly, yes.
Yeah, just briefly. But Benny is a real nice guy. He's a character. There's lots of good musical qualities in Swedish music at the moment, but I think lots of people will still sing in Swedish, so that's impossible to get outside. And I think lots of people don't really have the courage to think more internationally. They just see Sweden and they say, yeah, I'm satisfied with this. Why should I aim for more? More bands could be internationally successful if they just had a guy like we have Thomas Ertman, who took the tapes and took a sort of tour all around Europe and in the States and told everybody, listen to this, look at these guys.
We always had that as a goal to go, because before we won that rock contest, we always been singing in English, and we were approached by record companies and they told us sing in Swedish and we give you a record contract. But we refused to do that because we thought that we had the chance to get out. Record companies just wouldn't sign you if you sing in English because they wanted to have success in Sweden. That's all they were looking for, was success in Sweden. English is the rock and roll language.
I think one of the main things with Europe is the simple and nice arrangements. Everything is very clear in the mix. You know, it's easy to hear the vocals. It's not a mishmash of a lot of sounds. It's just the band, keyboard, guitars, bass, vocals, and drums, and everything is very distinct. You can hear it clear, you know, which makes it work really good on radio and live as well.
I think one important thing is the mixture between the heaviness and the
melodies.
Yeah, the heaviness in the bottom and all the melodies on top of that.
I think melodies. I picked a lot of stuff from the 70s where there was a lot of talent, but it wasn't commercial. Like the bands I mentioned, like hard rock bands from the 70s, they had so much melodies in them, but they didn't think commercial at all. You know, it was total opposite. They just played live, but they had so many melodies and guitar solo melodies. So I tried to bring that up. You know, we've tried to have that all the way, like using guitar as a voice, as a singing thing. And I think that's a characteristic thing about Europe. Use melodies in the guitar solos and a lot of melodies in the vocals going with the song.
It's actually Joey who wrote it, and then we arranged it together, Joe and me. We sort of sat in the studio and just figuring out how to do it right, to build it up. From the beginning, there was only the intro. There wasn't a song. So Joey sort of wrote the song from the intro. The intro was the first thing, because he had a friend who had a discotheque in Stockholm, a disco, and he wanted to open that disco with a powerful intro. And so Joey wrote it for that discotheque, and then he sort of just picked it up and made a song out of it. I think it was John, actually, who suggested it.
Yeah.
It was a vision about traveling because the theme, it's really a strong theme, an opening theme. It's when I close my eyes and play that or hear it, it just feels like traveling. So what I felt like doing was traveling something big, do something great. So I went to Venus in the lyric. So it's actually about leaving Earth and going to Venus. It's nothing in the lyric about an Holocaust or anything like that. It's just that we're leaving. It's nothing that we won't come back.
We're going to tour with Def Leppard in the States as a special guest act, whatever.
Special guest star.
Yeah, we like them, and we saw the concert in here in London. They did 2 shows, and we saw them both, and they got a good show. They're nice people too, so it's going to be real nice doing a tour together with them.
You need them. That's why I'm in this business.
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know what I can say about it. It's nice to meet girls, but you have to be careful these days. You have to think twice. The States, of course.
Yeah, the States.
And
It's so easy to tour in the States because everything it's so
Well organized.
well organized. It's the home country of at least touring rock bands, and everyone knows what to do, and the audience is active. They're listening to the music in another way than the fans in, for instance, Italy are doing. The Italian people, they're just screaming like you just have to show your face on stage, and they would scream.
It's so different because it's so much discipline in that country, and it's like if we go on stage, well, first of all, they have seats and they can't move. They have this square meter to stand on, and they can't move because if they move, if they run to the stage, they get thrown out from the place. So they have to stand there, and they really go nuts, head banging on this little spot. And but still, they want to see everything that happens on stage. So it's like when we finish the song, everybody's just applauding and all that. And then Joey says, "Thank you." It's totally stops because they want to hear every word he says, and they're really watching everything. They're so much into details and stuff. You can have a little, maybe you've spilled some coffee on your stage clothes or something, and there's a little spot right here, and so after the concert you meet a couple of fans and they say, "What's that spot? What was it? What did you spill on you?" It's like they're really into it all.
it's like I broke a string on one show we did, and the day after I had like a pile of letters from girls saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry you broke a string yesterday,"
But they're very, very nice people. They're very grateful to play in front of. They really appreciate your music.
Finland, because no one speaks English and people are very strange, and I don't know if we should judge from that, but we've been doing a couple of festivals, summer festivals in Finland, and it was like playing in front of Cuckoo's Nest. Everyone was totally drunk. They drink enormous amounts of liquor over there.
Homemade liquor,
Yeah.
really moonshine, moonshine spirits. It's like, and then they fight with knives and mud wrestle in front of the stage.
It's the people are very isolated. They keep very much to themselves. They don't get much influences from outside.
We went to Moscow for 24 hours to do this TV show, and it was horrible.
As you expect it to be.
Yeah, the cities, it was during the winter, so it was really, everything is I think very gray, and the people are very gray. You know, and the air is gray, and
Everything you just get depressed of being there, and also because we stayed in one of the best hotels in town, and it took about half an hour to get the key to your room because it's so much. I mean,
necessarily,
you have to get a ticket in one desk, and you go to another desk and show your ticket. You get your key. You go up in the elevator, and there sits a lady in another desk, and you have to show the ticket. She takes the ticket, and you can go to your room. And for example, if you get hungry, there's no way you can get food. It's like you have to order at least 1 day in advance if you want to go to a restaurant. And so it's, and if you want to go out shopping, I mean, there's lines are 40 feet long. All what we think is normal for us. Just if I'm hungry, just go and buy a chocolate bar or whatever. There's no way you can do it in Russia. And all these people that you saw on the street come up to you. They see you have Adidas shoes on you. They want to buy your shoes and jeans. They will buy your jeans because that's really status. I mean that's something if you have a pair of jeans.
Yeah, it was this Japanese restaurant at the hotel, and we went down there and had strange kind of Japanese food, and I thought it was really bad tasting, so I left some. And the waiter, he came up to me, "Are you really sure? Are you gonna leave this?" He was really surprised that I was gonna leave some food.
if it takes one person to do a thing in the Western world, you know, it takes like 10 people to do it in Russia.
It would be fun to do a tour just because no matter what system they have, I mean, still there's millions of people kids who likes our music, and it would be nice to give them a couple of shows over there anyway, so they can see us and hear us, but you don't make any money there. Never. Rubles. Maybe we can get vodka and caviar or something. For a shorter time, I would do it because I mean, still, it's fans over there who wants to hear it, and I have to give them something.
You know, they have in Sweden this famous Swedish envy, which is that you're allowed to have success, but not too much. And if you start making money out of it, then it's not very good at all.
In the beginning, when we started to have success, everybody wanted to be there and write about it, and it was so great that Europe from little Sweden had so much success. But now we're sort of established, and now it's not hip to write about our success anymore. Now they want to get something else out of it, and they want to find the mud out and sort of try and write some bad things about us, because that's what people want to read now, they think. That's what sells the paper.
It's better. I think that Joey has improved his songwriting a lot.
Yeah, I think everyone has improved. I mean, and Joey's vocals as well, and I guess our playing has improved, and we have a new guitar player. And I think the whole thing is going to be more mature. I guess you can say it's more heavy, but still better melodies. I think the album is more even than the last album. I think, for example, we could pick about 7 singles from this album, but from the other one it was about, I think, 4 singles released.
More honest rock and roll on this album. It's more live-oriented. When the other guitar player left the band, he came into the band like a week after that or something. So he went out with us just a month after the former guitar player left on a promotion tour to begin with. So he played all the guitar solos that John did on the album. He was just, you know, miming to the songs, fake playing. The funny thing with Key is that he got the gig without auditioning. We just picked him because we
listened to what he'd been doing before, and thought it sounded great. He is very good. And he also have lots of ideas for arrangements and stuff, so he's very good.
And he's a funny guy. He has a sense of humor, and I would say that he's just, brought a lot of positive energy into the band. He's very professional. I don't know. Really.
I think we've become more of a group now. As
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
We're more like a 5-piece unit.
Kia has one song on the album.
And there's been some co-writing by Mick. He's been co-writing one of the songs called Coast to Coast, which is a smash ballad.
I was standing in there just playing on the keyboards, just line. Thought it sounded good, and I had a little piece of melody and a bass line for it. And so Joe just started singing to it, and he came up with a great Coast to Coast. Just came up like that. He started singing it instantly. So that's how it started, and then we sort of tried it in the during the European tour. We just played with it, the whole group, during the sound checks and stuff. Then we sort of put everything together, and we got a good song that we did the final adjustments just before we went into the studio. I co-wrote one song on the Final Countdown album too, Carrie.
Yeah, well, we used another producer for this album. The Final Countdown, Kevin Nelson, the guy who used to produce Journey's albums, a couple of them, 5 I think he produced. Produced the Final Countdown for us, and now we're using Ron Nevison, who's been producing. He's been working with everyone. He's used to work for Led Zeppelin and
He's been doing Heart and
yeah.
Kiss lately, Survivor.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
He's great. He's really a live-oriented producer. He wants the live energy. He wants to keep the soul in the music, He wants to have the right feel, and it's exactly the way that we wants to work.
I want to keep my mind on the music, and I don't think the technology changes the sound of the music, but it has to be a good song. It doesn't matter really how it sounds. Well, it helps if it sounds better, of course, but a good song is a good song, no matter how much technology you have. Ian, he's a drummer, and that says it all, doesn't it? All drummers are crazy, totally out of the mind, and it's the same with him. There's a good example when we were recording this album. We were going to lay down this track called "Open Your Heart." He wasn't supposed to play that day, so usually he has his Bermuda shorts or a couple of shorts on when he plays drums, but he just had normal clothes. So he had to take off his jeans, and so he stood there in just his underwear, and somebody said, "Why don't you play naked?" "Okay," he says, and takes everything up, go in the studio, just playing on drums through the whole track, totally naked. Yeah. And that's just one of the examples of how he is.
We try to put the live act into the studio. We try to make an album that could sound exactly, live. We don't go in the studio and spend over a year like Def Leppard or like Scorpions did now to make a production out of a thing. We work on the songs and we do it live. We use this mix organ, like his C3 organ, and the drums are genuine, I think we will always do like that because we always want to be prepared before we go into studio. We have all the songs ready. We never write in studio, except for lyric things. We might end up doing some lyrics in studio, but everything should be ready, and that's why we have been lucky working with Kevin Nelson on the previous one and Ron Nevison on this, because they are producers like that, live producers. They don't sit 1 year and pick at things. They just bring the band in and hope they're ready and just do it. Guess it feels real good. I think this album that Europe does now, I wouldn't like to go more commercial, and I wouldn't like to go more back. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, I like this position because I don't like making records just to make money. I think you should keep what you learned, what you experienced when you grew up, and try to make it. You know, you can use structure like we talked about. You can fix that, but I don't think you should try to think commercial too much. So I think this album would be the perfect combination of staying free, you know, playing free, or going commercial. I think it's perfect. Yeah, like out of this world. This album is like something out of this world. If I like something, I really put everything into it, like a relationship, whatever. So, you know, and that's what I do with my songs. I really give everything for them. Yes, I've been that all the way, and I haven't thought about everything else. It's been music all the way. When it became serious, from when we won that contest, 1982. Since then, that's been everything. I don't know. It's just I noticed that it worked, and I think mainly is because I love when people like my songs. That's the best feeling I have. So that's mainly what's been pushing me. Like when I play songs for the band or for Thomas, the manager, and he says he loves it. That's the best feeling I have. So, I mean, that's been pushing me, and I like to impress people. If I do something, I want to do it good or the best. I think that's the thing. But I'm a really modest guy, but I really do it in here, you know, so I don't boast about it. I don't go around saying I'm the best singer or something like that. I like my songs to make people feel good. I think that's what I always bring it live, and when they hear it, you're going to hear good melodies, and the words shouldn't be too offensive. I don't want to get out and change people, like, you know, do this and do that. Never. We have songs like Coast to Coast now, the ballad that's going to come out. It's kind of a unity thing. It could be a world anthem. It's written like that. I don't know if it's going to change anything, but it might make people feel better by hearing it together with the lyrics that, you know, the lyrics are about, you know, you're not alone, you know, it's the basic thing, you know, we're together and we're going to sing this song. That's what it is. But sometimes in previous records, I've been into war and peace and stuff like that. And I've actually, Sign of the Times on this album is about a man coming back from war to a woman that's been waiting all the time. But it's not very serious. It's just that's what it's about. And it's Sign of the Times, in my song, it's about the end of all wars. Kind of, but it's not too deep. I don't want to get too deep, but that's the idea of it. It's the kind of music we do, and the way we do it, I don't think you should get into deep. But I'm really, and when I sit with my lyric, I really want to get a point out of it. I mean, I don't want to write something that when I look back, why did I write that? You know, I wanted to have some meaning. The reason I remember Coast to Coast because Mick is sitting here. We wrote it together. Powerful ballad. We're going to use strings on it. Real strings, 32 guys coming in tomorrow playing real strings. Let the Good Times Rock. One of the happier rock songs on the album. It's one of my favorites because it's a good tempo, it's happy.
It's a happy song. It's just, let's go crazy and have fun, you know.
And it's very good performance, like this comes to guitar and vocals. We did, and the drum track is real good. And we used a real organ on it. And that's a fun track. We had Sign of the Times. We talked about that a little. That's a little closer to, I think, the Final Countdown album. The Final Countdown song, maybe even. A little closer to that. That was the song about what I was talking about, the guy coming back and woman waiting for him from war. And also sound-wise and melody-wise. It started off with a very catchy thing. That, you know, you remember, and it comes back all through the song. In between very good verses and bridges and choruses. Sign of Times. And then we'll listen to another song called Ready or Not that you heard. That's more a rock tune. It's actually about, the lyrics are about me going with some friends to a concert once. It was a Thin Lizzy concert. And we got wild and we rocked out. It's about that. So it's a kind of a little tribute to Philip Lynott, you could say, the guy from Thin Lizzy. It was one of my influences as a songwriter. He was very talented when it comes to melodies, but he wasn't thinking commercial at all. But they had a good following, Thin Lizzy, as far as live audience. Open Your Heart, the one I've been singing on today. When it was on Wings of Tomorrow, we would have liked it to happen more because it's such a good song. And I played it to Ron. I think Thomas Manischek came up with the idea. We wanted this album to have all the songs. So now we have 12 songs to choose from, including that old song that we redid now, and it's much better now. We've made it a little more modern sounding, used Ron's knowledge about sounds, and So that turned out great. I just did a vocal on it. It's going to be great. More Than Meets the Eye. It's an interesting song. It's contemporary. Do you say that? Is that the word to use? It has grown so much since they heard my demo of it, since we started playing it together, that it's now one of the strongest out tracks, I think. And it's a very interesting song. More Than Meets the Eye. Yeah.
Lights and Shadows.
Lights and Shadows. That's back more to the influences like before. Dun, 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 dun. It's more heavy track, but I think that's also a combination between heavy and melodies, because there's some beautiful melodies in the vocals, and it also features a keyboard solo in it. That's very interesting. It's good. It's a duel by guitar and keyboard.
It's also Superstitious.
Superstitious. Oh, that's
The same kind of.
yeah. That's also picking up all the influences, making it into a melodic hard rock song, and it's Superstitious is one of my favorites. The vocals turned out. That was the first vocal I did on this album. It turned out great. Never Say Die. Yes, it's. I remember writing a song on acoustic guitar, and has developed to a rock tune now, and we have worked on it with Ron. Has some ideas on it. A song called Towers Calling, which is about a man going into the Bermuda Triangle in a plane. The first plane that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, 1947. And it's about that. And it's also more heavy, a hard rock song. Yeah, the tower's calling, but he's not there. That's the message. And it's also a ballad called Tomorrow that I wrote on piano. It's really a mellow thing. It was written for piano and vocal, and that's how I did the demo. And some people still like it better, but now we put drums on it, and we're going to have a string orchestra doing it. And we got a song called Just the Beginning. That's a rock song that Guy wrote, which features a guitar solo that blows people's minds, I think. It's incredible. I can't understand how he can play that way. And that's how he's been playing on most of... I mean, I have some solo ideas when I do demos. He's been keeping the melody part of it, but then adding his vibrato and his skills by his technique, his fast technique. He's incredible. He's done some great guitar solos. I think there's something wrong if he doesn't turn out to be Guitar Hero after this. You know, it's incredible. I dream about, people liking these songs, liking the music. I think that's the end of the day. It's like Thomas when I meet him and he says, I got all these meetings and problems and all that, and he comes here and listens to a few songs and he get happy again. Because in the end of the day, it's the music that counts. So we're happy. We hope that, people will receive this music as a good thing. But also touring. We're going to be touring for 12 months this time, and it's going to be the longest thing we've done. It's going to be the first time we do a long tour like this, and it's very exciting to go places we haven't been. Even though I've been to Japan 4 times and all over Europe and the States, it's the second tour we do there now. But Australia and things like that would be very nice to go and see. They're going to like the stuff in the Final Countdown, but as I said, we wanted to like this. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I like it so much myself, but I'm not supposed to say that. I think this is only my personal point of view, and I haven't said it yet, and I'm not going to say it again probably, but I think it's one of the best rock and ballads albums ever done. But that's only my personal thing, because I've really put everything into all the songs. And we all have. I mean, during rehearsal, like Key and Mick and the rest of the band, they had so many good ideas. Everybody's been so forward, because I think this is the timing for Europe to do their thing.
There's always, new goals to aim for. I mean, if you sell a certain amount of records, you always want, with the next record, you want to sell a little bit more, and you want to play a little bit bigger places, and you always have frontiers to reach for. Yeah, I think it would be nice to be the first band to play on the moon or something. Yeah.